Imagine you're at work and you get this phone call.
I want you to get inside your car right now. Here, I told you to wait, and I told you to keep your mouth shut. I know exactly where you live, and if you say something, I'm going to hang up the phone and I'm coming inside your house.
I enjoy what?
Playing press. Playing press.
Playing press.
Alright guys, imagine I just hear this on the scanner come across.
Contact 3. Go ahead. Is there any way the phone company or anybody can hack into that phone call and tell her that we have the daughter? I don't think that's going to happen. We're going to make you a video of bringing a phone. You have 5100, maybe go back to Walmart. She'll show up in that black Toyota. See if they can intercept her if she's going to transfer that money. So the bill is heading back to Walmart? We believe so. She left out of the lot here and went through the lights and stuff, and we lost her. Okay, we'll get down en route there. She's in the black Camry? 10-4, the license plate's in the call. Okay, we'll get down. Invited the party here, 1621.
So, it's after about 5 o'clock. Almost every police agency is closed except for Brooklyn Park Police Department. So I go up to Brooklyn Park Police Department and go ask who 5100 is. 5100 is Brooklyn Park. So I ask about a possible child abduction with Ransom. They had no idea what I was talking about, but they dug into it for me. Took them all of about 5 minutes to find out what happened, and they told me they were the assist agency on that, and it came out of Maple Grove. So of course it was too late, so I went up to Maple Grove Police Department and talked to a sergeant. The sergeant was able to confirm with me that there was no abduction, there was no threat, that this was a scam call. This is the first I heard about it, so I did some digging on some other news stories that were on this as well. So here's some clips from other news reports that have happened all around the country. It's not a very common thing, but it does happen. Stay tuned.
I answered, and it was one of the kids crying.
A few weeks back, Natalie Bruiser got a similar call. She even heard a girl crying out for help in the background.
And they were just crying super hard. A black Suburban had pulled up, and people got out with guns, and Nicole started screaming.
A man then got on and said if she wanted to see her daughter again, she needed to get money and stop at this gas station. The man said police were on their tail and that she needed to act quickly or they would harm her daughter. But in both cases, their daughters were home safe and knew nothing about the call. It's called the virtual kidnapping scam. All you can do is be aware of it, so if you get a call like this,
Let's get in the car.
you know to say no, and instead check with your son or daughter who is probably home safe and sound.
It could happen to anybody, and it was so real.
Police say the caller doesn't even know your child's name, but is so convincing you think they do, so please don't waste your money.
Kidnapping. Criminals are looking to cash in on parents' fears by using fake store horrifying experience exclusively with the I-Team so other parents don't get fooled.
I will literally never be the same. It was a good 4 to 5 minutes that I thought my daughter was kidnapped.
Jamie of Naperville received a terrifying phone call. We are only using her first name to protect her child's identity.
There was a child crying on the phone, and it sounded like, I have 2 kids, they're a year apart. It sounded like both of my kids crying. And then all of a sudden this guy gets on the phone and, threatens and says, if you ever want to see, your daughter again, you're going to do exactly as I say.
She quickly called 911 on another phone line so emergency responders could hear the kidnapping threats.
I want to hear my daughter's voice. Please. No.
No. You're going to do what I tell you to do if you want to see her alive.
Somehow I was able to get my house phone. I muted him, called 911, had both the phones on speaker, and told dispatch, be quiet, just listen, someone has my daughter.
Jamie was petrified, wondering if she'd ever see her daughter again. In most of these kidnap scam calls, the caller uses details from a child's or family's social media history to convince the victim that the kidnapping is real. then demands a ransom, asking the parent to wire money. In this case, that 911 operator was able to warn Jamie that it was most likely a scam before she paid up.
Who's here with you? Who has over? What's going on?
Nobody, I'm here by myself. I want to hear my daughter's voice, please.
Ma'am?
Please. Yes, is this...
Who's talking
Okay.
here with you?
I'm scared.
Okay, this sounds like this may be a scam phone call. Do you know the phone number this is coming off of?
He just hung up.
Okay, what's the phone number?
My daughter.
What is the
I don't know where it came from, but my reaction was, no, put my daughter back on the phone. No, I'm not doing anything to put my daughter back on the phone.
After the scammer hung up, Jamie raced to her children's school. Officers were also dispatched there to check on her daughter's well-being.
They are driving there.
Okay, I could be there in 2 seconds. Ma'am, you don't understand. Like, it's a block away. Can I please just drive there?
Okay, I understand that, but the officers are on their way right now. So I need you.
But it's my daughter. Do you understand? So my cell phone number is... I'm driving to the school, okay? I have to hang up with you.
I lost it when I saw the kids. Obviously, when I saw my son came down first, and then my daughter came down, and I think I crumbled to the ground, honestly.
The Naperville police told Jamie they could only conclude that the call came from Mexico. There is little hope anyone will be caught. The FBI calls this scam virtual kidnapping. They say these cases are difficult to investigate and prosecute because almost all of the suspects are in Mexico, and victims are told to wire money out of the country, making it difficult to trace.
But to say you have a child, to kidnap a child, is just so cruel.
The FBI also says many cases go unreported, and investigators are encouraging parents to come forward so they can raise awareness and gather national statistics. Jamie shared her story with the I-Team to send out this warning.
The anxiety is still going to be there. You're still going to freak out. But at least in the back of your mind, if you think for a second it could be a scam, you know, you might react differently.
The FBI says if you get this call, never pay the money. You should hang up and try to reach your child independently. If you do engage the caller for information, don't verify anything by calling out a loved one's name. And remember to call 911 on another phone line. Now, if you're trying to figure out if someone has really been kidnapped, you can try to keep this caller on the other line by saying you need more instructions. Say you are writing down those instructions to keep them on the phone longer.
So one option you guys do have is text to 911.
Text to 911 has arrived in Minnesota. People who are deaf, deafblind, hard of hearing, or those with speech impairments can now text as a first option in an emergency. If you can't call, let dispatchers know right away. Text should include your exact address, your emergency, and simple sentences. Be ready to quickly answer questions. Remember, call if you can, text if you can't.
So I'm hoping to spread the word. Please share this video. Let people know this is happening. I can't even imagine what it would be like to get this phone call. But in many cases, the kids are safe in school, even upstairs, at home, and it's a scam. So please, please, remember that the scam is going on as well. Come up with a plan, develop one with your family if this happens. Thanks for tuning in. Jason with Minnesota News Now out.
People sleep peaceably in their beds at night because rough men stand ready to do violence on their behalf.